For this behind the scenes video and photo shoot, which I actually did several months ago and I'm barely getting around to editing it, we did what we call an avant-garde theme based around disintegration. As you notice, if you take a look at any TV show, commercial, movie trailer, whether it be on a documentary channel or a feature film or any type of special effects work, you'll notice that what's been trending right now and for the past couple of years is three-dimensional text and particles. It seems like every trailer I look at or any opening title has some type of three-dimensional text and little particles around it. And by particles, that could mean anything from sparks to glowing embers to elements of dust, pretty much anything. And that's what's been going right now. And I remember a popular shoe commercial showed this model running, and they had the person was actually disintegrating almost into like a water-like substance, and the actual skin was flaking away and kind of just falling apart. And I figured I'd really like to do this with photography, and I want to take this in a still subject, combine it with a fashion and glamour look and almost the opposite avant-garde type theme, and kind of mesh that all together. And so I remember I met our model Marcy at a filmmaker's meet and greet, and she had accompanied one of my good photographer friends, Travis Hoagland. And I looked at Travis and I said, "Who is this?" And he goes, "Oh, this is Marcy. She's just starting out in modeling. I met her through a mutual friend or a party. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said, I met her somewhere, and I said, I got to get you in front of my camera, and I want to do it soon." So Travis had the opportunity to work with her, and I saw some of the work that he'd done with her, and I'm like, I've got to work with Marcy. She knows what she's doing. I can tell she's a natural in front of the camera, and she has a very unique look about her that is always something that I'm looking for, versus getting the same, overly tanned bimbo in front of the camera and shooting something completely weird. Because as a cinematographer, I want to make photos that tell a story behind them. I want it to be more than just a beautiful man or a woman that's in some clothes standing, in front of something, something like that. So what we did was we started consulting, we started putting together, we started looking at tear sheets and trying to see how we could do this. I started taking some of the effects that I would have done in my cinematography work in After Effects and Maya, and started saying, how can I pull these into Photoshop, and what can I do to freeze these effects and actually put it into a still photo. And so what we ended up doing, we planned the photo shoot out. I found my go-to makeup artist, Abigail Still. She's done many of my bridal clients before, and she's MAC certified, knows airbrush techniques, and just damn right knows what's going on. And when she's around, I know I don't have to worry about anything because it's going to be taken care of. Some of you are going to be really upset with the shortness of this video, and that's mainly because my behind-the-scenes cameraman, Chris, was volunteering his time and donating on his lunch break, and he couldn't stay around for the whole shoot. So please accept my humble apologies for the shortness of this video. But there's still some knowledge to be had and some inspiration to be gained. And so stay tuned for Avant-Garde Disintegration. Big Ben with BTS Photography today. We're doing a little bit of a fun photo shoot. I'm joined by Travis Hoagland of Hoagland Imagery, another local photographer. I met Travis a couple years ago on our local Salt Lake City chapter of Help Portrait. And Travis actually introduced me to our model today, Marcy, who we're going to be shooting. We're going to be doing a little bit of a surreal portrait today. We've got a fog machine, a nice dark gray background. They call it Thunder Gray. And we're going to be doing a little bit of kind of a, I don't know what it's like this idea I have. I don't even know how to put it into words. Yeah. What would you say?
Well, I thought avant-garde was a pretty good...
Avant-garde, surrealism, and an alternate reality with a side of fries. So, going over our setup today, we're going to be shooting with a Nikon D300. My go-to lens, since I can't afford a 24-70, this is a 17-55 f2.8. Nice pro glass. If you can't afford the 24-70, these do really well, especially on a crop body,
Right.
And so if you have a full frame, probably need the longer zoom. As far as lighting, we're going to be starting with a 3-light setup. We have the Elinchrom Ranger Quadras. I have my A head, or remember they're an asymmetrical pack, meaning this is going to get 66% of the power. My key light's going to get 30% of the power. And I've got a nice little strip bank here to kind of even out that asymmetrical power. I've put the little internal baffle on the inside of this. I don't know if you see that. The key light is also on an Elinchrom Quadra head. I've got a nice little, well, I don't know what this is, 24 by 36 softbox-ish on my Manfrotto 420B convert boom stand. I get asked every day on my YouTube channel, what boom stand am I using? This is the 420B. It works as a regular light stand and converts into a boom. Really lightweight, it's aluminum. I wouldn't hesitate to put anything of a speed light or a lighter head on there, but a full-size Pro Photo or AB 1600. Or if you have a 6-foot Octabank, I'd probably be a little bit hesitant, but for our purposes it will do really well. To kind of give our fog, which we're going to be putting on the background to give a little bit of a surreal appearance, we've got an SB800, which is probably being blown out by the house lights. Clamp to the ceiling here, this on a fast clamp, and I've got that at about a 30-second power, just shooting onto the background to give us a nice little natural gradation on it. So, shooting avant-garde, we're going to keep the background simple, keep it clean, and usually simple's better, right? So, but you guys need to go check out Travis's stuff. He's an awesome photographer. Tell him your website, man.
It's hooglandimagery.smugmug.com. It's Hougland.
Hoagland. Is that Swedish?
Dutch.
Deutsch. So here we are in the basement. We've started shooting here. You can see Travis there with the fog machine. We commonly use fog in cinematography, as in a lot of the films I do. And you don't really notice it as fog. It doesn't look like fog in the final images, but it adds just enough texture and substance in the background that catches some of that light from the strobes and gives you just a little bit more depth in your images. You can see here some of the disintegration techniques, which we'll go over later in the video. Obviously we didn't use it in every photo because it took about 3 hours per image to do. And Marcy's doing an absolute amazing job. The whole time we were talking positively, having her getting angles and just trying to use the motion she can to try to change it up each and every frame. You can see now that we have changed our key light from the 24 by 36 softbox over to the beauty dish. This is a silver beauty dish connected to the Elinchrom Quadra, and it has a white sock over it. Just remember, a beauty dish isn't always just for a butterfly beauty shot. You can use it for a lot of different things. Here it was just a little bit off axis, camera left, kind of at almost a straight on, but maybe a little bit higher than 12 o'clock position. The one thing to remember is that when you're done, always show your model your images, as well as your makeup artist. They stay around and help you quite a bit. You know, don't wait till you're done, you know, because after all, you want to be a great photographer, not just a good Photoshop artist. For the images where the sheet's in the air, all we simply did was have Travis or Abigail literally hold the sheet in the air and flip it, and then I would take a picture. This is pretty fun to do. You will waste a lot of frames, but when you get it right, you get some really cool movements coming out of your wardrobe. So now we're going to go through a quick step-by-step on how we did the post-process of this image. This roughly took 3 hours. This is at 4,000 speed with some slowdowns to show you what's going on. So very quickly, we started off by slowly cloning out the areas of the background that needed to be cloned out, because obviously with the limited space we had shooting in the home studio, her blue sheet that she was wearing actually went past the background. So we did this by using the clone tool as well as layer masks. There I am cleaning up the dust on the floor.
From there we go in and start cleaning up her skin. We're cutting out the earring holes that she wasn't utilizing at that time. Any bruises or scars or anything that she didn't want there, we'd clean up. The important thing to remember that human skin does have texture, ladies and gentlemen. So please, please, please do not over process the skin. I see this done in probably a good 70% of the photos. From there, we're going to go on to how we actually did the disintegration process. We did this by duplicating our background layer, turning down the opacity to 50% so I could see both layers. From there, we went ahead and went in and used the warp tool and went ahead and stretched it up so I could stretch it above to where it was going to go. From there, I went ahead and applied a layer mask, then using brush tools that I had legally purchased or created myself in the studio using black paint and a white paper, I went ahead and started painting over the layer mask, utilizing the black or white brush accordingly to start painting in over that stretched layer. Now, why I did this rather than just grabbing the brush and using the eyedropper tool and sampling the blue color or the skin color was that because if I wanted to erase anything or if it was too much of a brush, instead of having to use the eraser tool or the history brush tool, this way I could literally just have the layer mask and have that easier controllability to where I could actually come through and erase what I didn't want, erase certain drops, stretch it, whatever. Here we are doing the same thing for her head and her hair. Went ahead and duplicated the layer, scaled it up a little bit, not too much, and now I'm just actually, going through and stretching out a little bit to the area that I want the hair to go to. Then I'm going to apply a layer mask to that layer and start using a variety of brushes. Got some smoke brushes there as well, some of the paint drop brushes. Using the black brush to paint over that, using the white brush to hide it, accessory. There I am, going through and adjusting it. Again, there's the flexibility of using a layer mask versus just the paintbrush tool. Doing the same thing to her leg now. And there was some instances where I did just create a transparent, new layer, and did use the sample tool from the eyedropper, and did use a paintbrush just for some minor touch-ups or to add to it. So there we are there, going in and doing some fine details. And the last step that we always do on an image is to go ahead and finish my color correction and sharpening. There I am applying a curves adjustment layer, excuse me. And I always save my curves adjustment. You can see me cycling through ones that I've created. If I ever find one that I like, even if it's on one set of photographs or one series, I'll go ahead and save it. Here I am doing some final touches, doing some dodging and burning, dodging out the highlights in the hair, popping the eyes just a little bit, not too much, because she's not a zombie and she's certainly not a vampire. So just going through, clean up a little bit, go back into Lightroom, save our image, and there's our final product. For our final setup, which unfortunately I don't have video for, we wanted to do this almost fluid approach, or this underwater look with the sheets, where Marcy's kind of swimming, reaching, or searching for something. We did this by shooting vertically and flipping it around in post. The ruffles in the sheets were simply made by ruffling the sheets and moving them ourselves. These were some of my favorite of the shoot, and I wish I had video for it, but please accept my apologies. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can check out more on my blog. You can link that from going to www.btsphotography.com. Again, I'm Big Ben, and I bid you happy shooting.